and welcome to another Hollie's Hot Takes, the show where it's normally just me and you ask me questions and I'll answer it about topics that are floating all around the club at the minute. And to be honest with you, there's quite a few floating around. I'm not going to shadow it too much because there pretty much is a lot of crap going on at the moment. And I am, like the title says, losing the plot, so to speak. But in good news, we have actually hit 1K subscribers, which is an absolute madness. So credit to all you guys that actually stick out here, watch me talk. Sometimes a bit of rubbish about Tottenham, sometimes some sense, but obviously getting the guests on as well has really improved the show. So big up to all of those that have actually joined me. And yeah, we've reached 1K. I mean, if you haven't already, the link's in the description below to see the 1K special video, which is pretty much a mashup of all of the different highlights we've had. It did take me a little while. Hey, hello Will. Will has got such a sick setup for his live podcasts and things. Make sure you go check out Will's channel because it is phenomenal. Hello Alan. Welcome Alan. Welcome to all you guys. Like I was just saying, it's been a madness finally reaching 1K. It's just a shame Tottenham haven't been able to pump out the same results. But there we go. Evening Phil, hello. So like I said, Hollie's Hot Takes, as you know, I mean, the past week we had the lovely Anthony on, which I must say his accent is insane. I love Anthony's pieces, giving us his kind of perspective on Tottenham at the moment. And it was a great laugh and a good show just to have him on, because obviously it can be a bit boring listening to me all the time. But this is a show for you to ask me questions. Now, obviously, there's been a lot going on this week with the likes of Toby and Toby's dad getting involved. The fact that him saying that he has no evidence or reassurance that he'll be leaving the club whatsoever. But it's been a bit of a madness, obviously, with Jose potentially lying about him not being ready because he got a negative COVID test, but we saw him in training. So it's a bit of a mismatch at the moment. I mean, me personally, I love to see Toby still at the club. I hope that he's involved at the game of the weekend against Man United, because I think that's going to be an absolute shitstorm, if I excuse my French, but it's going to be a madness. I think we saw at the weekend how bad that defence is if we don't have someone that's commanding. And I think Toby is the geezer that we need in there to reassure the fence. I'd love to see Toby and Rodon at the weekend, which is another thing. Obviously, for all of you guys that did watch that Newcastle review, we did speak a little bit on Rodon, but obviously not enough, I think. Hey, good evening to you. Hello, Elena. Welcome. So, yeah, Rodon for me, I think, is an up-and-coming star. I think he is obviously one for the future. But while we've got Toby at the club, we need to put those two together. I think that's the way forward. Well, if you had to pick right now who starts the cup final, what in terms of defence or the whole team? Or the whole team, Cody? What's your kind of... Because defence-wise, I've kind of touched on it already. I'd like to see, obviously... I'm not sure about this right-back position. I don't know where Serge Aurier is. I really don't know where he is. I don't know whether he's fallen out with Jose. Maybe he's put him on the naughty seat. I don't really know. But I'd like to see Serge, Rodon, Toby and Reguilon as my back four against City. But whether that happens or not is another factor. But I think Rodon is definitely our best centre-back that's young, in a sense. Obviously, I think he's miles ahead of Sanchez. Tanganga's had a bit of a meh. I think he's still a bit wobbly. The whole team, really. Okay, so... See, I've said my back four. Lloris in goal. I'd like to see Højbjerg, Ndombele. Now, it's a tough one. I want to see Lo Celso in there as well. But again, I don't think Lo Celso's really proved his worth. But then who else do you go for? Tracking back, I think we just got to go gun-ho. It's so difficult. I haven't actually really thought about it, Cody, if I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Obviously, Kane. Maybe play Kane and Sonny up top together. Maybe have Lucas, Lamela and Bale. That's a good shout. The Toby situation does make you wonder what else Jose has stretched to the truth. One that comes to mind is Bale's instant saying he feels good, then Jose claiming he told him he couldn't play. That is a good shout, Elena. I never really thought about it like that. It's a tough one. I think I've always said it's really weird because months ago, even before this whole article came out, I did a live, and obviously it was the first Hollie's Hotspurs live, and it was with Mel Ceballos and otherwise known as Ceballos TV, who I love it a bit, and JJ Season. And we were talking about how I think Bale did come across for the Euros. It just makes so much sense. And it was a bit like in comparison to the Alex Morgan deal. They both needed fitness and they both needed to get their act together after obviously missing so much football, obviously with Alex Morgan having a baby and obviously Bale sitting on the bench the whole time. So it's a tough one. For me, I think I'd work well under Jose, because if I'm doing crap, I want you to tell me. And I think some players in the team can't hack that. And I think Bale is someone on confidence, because we saw obviously Harry Redknapp come out and say, Bale, just put Bale against crap defenders and let him show you what he's worth, because he needs that confidence boost. So it's a tough one, Elena. That's a good point. Never really thought of it like that. Do you think it's possible that they used an old photo of the post on Son which showed Toby in the background? Granted, I don't know much about the situation. Possibly. But again, this is the thing. Like, we're all here assuming things, but we don't actually know the basis of it. I just think it's so strange that you'd leave Toby out of a game like that just because, okay, we know Newcastle are a bit bogey in the sense that Joe Linton seems to turn onto prime Messi when he plays against us. So it's just a bit of a strange combination. It's just really weird. Hey! Hello, Spurs Related. If you haven't already, please go check out Spurs Related. I did a podcast with them yesterday, which is now live on YouTube, and it is sick. And credit to the thumbnail, because I look awesome next to Harry Winks. Thoughts on the back five for the cup final with Toby in the situation sort of Tanganga and Rodon, regular left wing back and Serge right wing back? It's a possibility. Would I say no to it? Probably not. I'm really struggling still to try and think of a back line. I think Tanganga's had a bit of a mare. He had a bit of a mare for England, and I think that's knocked his confidence. The trouble with our Spurs squad is confidence. They don't have confidence, it's bang out the window. And some players thrive off being told they're crap, and others don't. Like, if it was me, I'd like to be told I'm not doing a good job. With them, it's like do or die, basically. Do you think Kane will leave if Jose sacked? See, I have said this, Alan. It's a very sticky situation. Is Kane going to want to sit through his last couple of years under a manager like Poch was, this build, like this, what's it called, rebuild type of manager? Or is he going to want Jose to stay? Because they get on so well, I feel like I said, going back into this Spurs documentary, he's took it from here to here, and I think they work well together. It depends at the end of the season. If he's won a trophy and we've somehow got top four, why not keep him? But until then, I can't really tell. The thumbnail was quality. The thumbnail was good. Hey, Eduardo said, hi, Hollie, you're on the same time as Matty Hayes. Right, I want to go watch Matty Hayes, but the problem is I had a hospital appointment today, and I was like, no, I want to do it for 7, because then it's done. And as bad as that sounds, if I leave it till like 8, 9, I'm half asleep. So if I do it at 7, half 7, it's all good. But obviously I did have it at half 7, but I was back early from the hospital, so it meant that I could do it at the original time. So annoying though. I love Matty Hayes' content. He's awesome. I'm not going to... Yes, make sure you go check it out, honestly. They are quality, and they're making big things at the moment. They've done one with Ben, which we all know Ben in the Spurs community, which is quality, and I've done one today, and they've got another one. But they've got some sick stuff going on. But yeah, going back to Tottenham at the moment, it's just a bit of a mess, isn't it, really? It's the first time I've ever seen the Spurs fan base so split and divided on opinion. I just don't know where to go. Hollie, you confidently can beat United? Don't bloody know. I said on the Spurs related podcast yesterday that if I just set myself up for failure, it means I won't be disappointed again. Because against Newcastle, I was buzzing. I was in the Agon bar. I was living lavish. Game started, all went to pot. And it honestly feels like a loss, even though it was a draw. Like, that's how bad it is. I really don't know, Sam. I hope we can do some business. But again, the funny thing is, there's not a lot of pressure going on this week. Obviously, the Newcastle game meant that we could capitalise on the likes of Chelsea dropping points. So there was a lot riding on it this week when we could have benefited from last week. We're not really fussed. We draw Manchester United on the weekend. You reckon? I mean, a point's better than no points. If we're not going to be too depressed about it. I don't know. It's just, we need to get this season out of the way. Hopefully we manage to win the cup against City and it'll be all good, but who cares? We move. We needed a win. We did need a win, and they costed us once again. Choose one. Sack Jose, full rebuild, sell Kane and Son. Keep Jose with no investment. Oh my God, Cody, don't do this to me, man. Don't do this to me. The trouble is, right, I don't understand why we need investment in the club, but let's pay 30 million to sack Jose. Like, that's 30 mil I could spend on something else. Right, bear with, because I am not prepared as usual, and I haven't plugged my charger. Bear with. This is standard. You can tell why Hollie's hot takes is always like a slow burner for me, because it's never organised. There we go. I'm back. It's just a tough one. I wouldn't sack Jose now because of the money. We can reinvest that money. I don't have a lot of faith of Enic, but just don't waste money willy-nilly. Like, I just don't understand it. Selling Son and Kane, I think, would be a major blow. I really do. Like, how are you gonna bring in someone that has the same quality as Kane and Son for anything less than Kane and Son? Like, it's kind of, you've proper like thrown a spanner in the works there, mate. You've proper stumbled me. Well, it's hot takes. A slow burner. See what I did there? I hold my hands up. I did not pre-plan that, but I like that you got the joke. I love watching you struggle. I need my gin, mate. I don't have any gin with me at the moment. Count it down, mate. I tell you, right, I'm not a fan about Spurs sending me these bloody emails about going on the Skywalk, or these emails about getting the audacity today to post to renew your season ticket. Oh my word, what is that man thinking at the top? Like, no. But honestly, when I can go to the Skywalk, which was supposed to be for my birthday, kid you not, which was at the start of the season, so no one can crucify me for spending money at Levy, because this was at the start of the season. I was supposed to go for my birthday. He's going straight over the Skywalk. I'm lobbing him over. R.I.P. Winksy. Agreed. Levy brought Jose in the work miracles with a squad largely consists of bums. Agreed. I don't think any manager can manage to pull this utter mess round, sadly. Whoever you get in, if there's lack investment in the team once again, we're going to be at thing again. I've always said this. Enic like to ride the wave. They won't cut their losses. They will keep going until they have to do something about it. And like I said, they are reactive, not proactive. And that is why we are in the mess that we are in. We could just say one more year. I think he has a clause in his contract where Levy doesn't have to pay Jose his full money if not top four when sacked at the end of the season. Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's the thing. It all comes down to top four. And I'm bored of this top four nonsense. Yeah, I know it gets you into the Champions League. Yes, I know this. But I feel like if we dropped out of the placement, I feel like Levy again and Enic will have no opportunity but to have to spend. This is the thing. They're still riding that wave. They really are. Are you Enic out? I am indeed, Cody. I've made my mind up. I don't know. This is my thing, right? They are great businessmen. I am not going to take that away from them. What they've managed to do outside of the football term, shall we speak, in terms of getting an amazing training facility, getting an amazing stadium. But I would have stayed at White Hart Lane if it meant we had trophies in that trophy cabinet. Because, let me kid you not, okay? It might have been a different story if COVID wasn't about and we were all in there not enjoying the football, but it'd be a different aspect, okay? They would have a lot more money to spend in the summer window, so to speak. But you can't be blind to the fact that stadium's going to be used for, we had Gun N' Roses ready to play in there. Like, it's going to be used for other events. We've got an NFL deal. Am I certain that money that we're going to bring in is going to be implemented on the football on the pitch and bringing in players? I don't think so. I can't bet money on it. Can you imagine the embarrassment if we made top four, get this squad, we would make the Premier League like Farmers League? That's what I mean. But Cody, I think we need to drop out of that place for Enic to actually realise I need to invest money here. Because at the moment it's not gonna change. It's not gonna change. Jonas must be too old for all this now. Let's get the new young owners and have an ambition for the club. Old ways, old style, hence why we're out the transfer window. Thoughts? I preach that. I 100% get behind that. Trouble is, like, I don't know who would. Amazon was floating about, wasn't it? I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, look. Father Agbar's in the house. Do you think Dyer should play against Man City in the cup final, take a risk, cut them down outside the penalty box, or not take a risk giving away a penalty? No. Dyer can stay on the bench as all as I can care. That man, lots of people were saying, but we were all singing his praises when we were at the top of the league. Yeah, but he's the reason why we fell from the top of the league. So, no. And does anybody else find it strange that he wants to spread his ashes at Tottenham? Now, I thought it was weird when I came up with that theory, but he's actually come out and said that when he's out of form. That's going to ruffle a few feathers. I'm not sure they're great businessmen, possibly in real estate, but their transfer business is pretty poor. That's what I mean. In terms of, that's a good point, Will. In terms of investment, in terms of pumping money into the facilities and pumping money into things that then can bring them more revenue, I'm just not 100% they're going to pump that back into the football team. It's a bit like, I know we joke about it, it's a bit like Arsenal. My friend was telling me that their owners will invest all their money into the NFL that they make from Arsenal rather than play. I just think it's all wrong. Yes, Lisa. Yes, Lisa. No sound. That's all right, Lisa. I've got your name on the screen. Lisa, by the way, is an awesome FIFA streamer on Twitch, and she's also hit 1K around the same time as me, which is amazing. Yes, we re-summon Cristiano. I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo want to come to Tottenham, if I'm going to be honest with you, Sam. I like the ambition. We have to sell one Winks, Dyer, Sanchez. Who will we? I know Winks is. It's giving me death stares. Lucky enough, they haven't printed his ears on, so I'm hoping he can't hear me. They have to go. Who do we sell? I mean, Dyer will probably say because of this homegrown thing, but mind you, he's Portugal. Oh, I don't even know. I don't know. I want to sell. We'll probably keep Sanchez because Levy won't want to cut a loss on the amount of money we paid for him. Dyer, I sadly think will stay if Jose stays. I think he will still think there's something there, and Winks has to go. I'm telling you now, like I said on the Spurs Related podcast, we need to check out. I'll snap their hand off Atletico Madrid if they want to give you that much money for him. Would you take Aguero? Seems like another Bale move, which I think hasn't worked out. I'd take Aguero. We know he's proven in the Prem. Injury, he's getting on a bit. But again, if we're not going to use the money to buy delicious Vinicius, why not get Aguero in? Why not play him alongside Kane? I mean, this new dynamic of two up front. When we had Luke on a couple of weeks, well, actually last week for the Newcastle game, he's saying, why can't we play this dynamic of two up front? Who's to say Kane can't drop back more often and set the striker up? Who can't say that Kane can work up top with the other striker? So who knows? Can we sign a new? Nah, I think we need to keep Lloris, Sam. I think there's more important problems we need to fix before we sort out a goalkeeper. Give Winks to Norwich plus cash for Aaron. Oh, that's a good trade. I like that. That's a good point, Cody. Hello, welcome, Nick. How many times this season have we coughed a ridiculous number of shots faced, or opposition are getting way more touches in our box? Eventually, press the tails on the defence. Agreed. It's too many times, isn't it? It's just ridiculous. You sit there and think a goal's going to go in any minute. You can literally play goal bingo or conceding bingo. It's getting that ridiculous now, Nick. I really don't know. I think it's a lack of confidence at the back. Now, like I've said before, I think Jose's tactics works with some players and doesn't work with most. I've said myself, if I'm playing crap, I want to be told I'm playing crap because it spurs me on to prove a point. But with the likes of Winks, the likes of maybe Tanganga, we're seeing a little, especially Bergwijn, I don't think they cope very well under that. Which is a struggle. And I think when we've got a lot of dead wood in the side, which don't get me wrong, at the start of the season, I was really happy with the squad depth. I think it's the first time we've had some sort of squad depth. But was there quality riddled in there? I'm not too sure. I think the dead wood kind of outweighs the quality at the moment. I think Rooney has finally got rid of Dyer. Love child affinity. I think seeing the light of day is poor. Maybe Dyer will move on now. I mean, I'm hoping so. I'm crossing my fingers. You can't see my toes because that's gross, but I'm crossing my toes too. Aguero is less mobile than these days, 40 stone, docile by all accounts. Again, maybe it's money. If they say they're offering something lower than the likes of Vinicius, I don't know, because I really can't see us spending the money for Vinicius. I really don't see. There you go. They're on the road. It's a good show. They're up and coming things, Spurs related. Do you think our team speed is the biggest issue? We can't move up and down the pitch as a unit. Turn the ball over. There's so much space. One good pass and we're completely opened up. I agree. We just can't stay compact, can we? It's weird. It's like one cut through pass and that's it. Dead. Like it's very strange. I think the only person that can really spread the play, really, I mean, we've seen Højbjerg do it a few times, but I think it's Kane. Honestly, if we lose Kane, we're not just losing a striker, we're losing our most complete player. Like, it's depressing. I'm pushing for 4-1-3-2, aka 4-4-2 diamond. I like to up top progressive formations with problems with our defence. Your thoughts on how we set up? Yeah, it's not great, is it? I mean, it worked at the start of the season, but with almost things, if you're playing the same thing each week against the same opponent, they're going to work you out. I've personally always liked to have the idea of two strikers because then you're not isolated up top. And I think it does cause the likes of opposition's problem. And I think it just frees up Kane a bit more. Like, we know he comes back anyway, but when he comes back, there's no real option when the ball is in the box. So having two up front means that Kane can just be a bit more freer in his movement. So I think it's a good shout. Personally, I think Levitt is more interested in the NFL. Watching the media 2 days ago, amount of money he's bringing in. What do you think? Agreed. And this is the problem. I hold my hands up. I'm not fussed about him. Like, if we make loads of money for it, great. Like, it's great. But I'm worried about whether he's going to fully invest that back into the club. Like I said, I know we all laugh at Arsenal, but talking to Arsenal fans, they're like, yeah, we make money, but then our owners will use it in the NFL with their partner club. Like, it's just a joke. We made John Joe look like Modric. Oh dear. If we lose Kane, are we going to finish 10th next season? Relegation battle if we don't do anything. The piss poor standard of passing from Tottenham makes it them seem like players have cataract eyes. Watching it, I want cataract eyesight, so I don't have to witness it. In serious, I don't think it's too far off. I don't think it's too far off either. I really don't. Hey, greetings from Sweden, Hollie. Welcome, Nicholas. I found if I've said that right and haven't butchered it. What I don't get is right to replace Toby, except there's nothing player he was, but we need him. Agreed. I've said this. We need to phase him out slowly, but have Rodon next to him or Tanganga each week, as in on a rotation basis, just so they can get the most out of Toby. Toby's presence at the back is just insane in terms of leadership. We lack that. Chopping and changing how the defence avoided leadership experience makes little sense. Yeah, I mean, you'd think that you'd want to keep Toby in the whole time, but rumours are coming out that Jose's trying to find the rat, so to speak. So maybe Toby's been put on the naughty step. I don't know. Can we sign a man? No. Oh, actually, we've had him once. We don't need him again. Sad. Our best results have come when we played like Burnley. Jose tried almost every combination to get a response, but the players never have let him down. And I preach this. Okay, I'm not gonna praise Jose too much because, okay, sometimes I think his substitutions are wrong. We get things wrong, but those players. I mean, I've said this so many times against Arsenal. Those players know what that means. Did they bother turning up? Did they bother playing? No. The same with Dynamo, okay? That side we put out the second leg was pretty much the same as the first leg that we played, okay? Now, those players have been trophy dried for so long, okay? You're telling me that they went out there and, like, how can you have a 2-0, what was it, 2-0 and then just lose it completely and get knocked out? Like, come on, that proves something that it's not necessarily a manager. It's the players. It's just an utter mess at the moment, which is why I'm losing the plot. I really am. I think maybe we could play Darcy in a wing back versus Man City. This guy was offensive. We can cane us on the counter. It's a good shout, Alan. I just don't trust Doherty. Like, this is another thing that frustrates me with the board. We all know Serge wasn't great. Okay, we know Serge was better when Doherty was brought in. But surely you'd have the ambition to bring in someone better than Serge so you can sit Serge on the bench and you've got a better right back. But it was the complete opposite. It was backwards again. I just don't understand it. My goat, yes, Lisa. Up the Lisa. If you could snap your fingers and remove any player, how big a number of players would you... We probably wouldn't be left with a starting 11 if I did that, Cody. There'd be no one left, mate. There'd be no one left. How depressing is that? I liked Adebayor. Yeah, Adebayor was all right, to be fair. He was exciting. The loss to Zarev is like that. Exactly this. And you can't say it's a manager's fault when he pretty much played the same team. And I'm not praising Jose too much, but if you're going to sit there and be like it's all on Jose, you clearly don't understand football in that sense. Like, those players should be hungry for a trophy. I didn't see that passion when we played Zagreb second leg. Jose makes substitutes try and protect the goal leads. He failed 8 times. We need to continue attack, move up. I agree with this. I think his substitutions have been pretty poor, and I can't defend him on that thing. I think he does make some silly substitutions. I mean, obviously, at Newcastle we saw Bale for 3 minutes, and I didn't think we were actually going to see Bale, but it was only because we conceded that he brought Bale on. He was going to bring the license to cycle on, and I just think it was too late, really. It's just so strange. I mean, it was funny when we were talking in Newcastle, we had Forms and Luke on, how that we managed to go, 1-0 1-0 down, and like they seem to have a light up their jacksie. They decided to do something, and we managed to turn it around. I am more scared when we are in front than we are behind, but I think that's been a long time as a Spurs fan, especially in recent years. I think I'm more scared when we're in front. Soho is a bit of a crook. He's from my home state and kind of a swindled sleaze in the Rams. He owns 9 sports clubs and all the suck. Just glad that have him. That is true. I know we all hate Arsenal, but how depressing must that feel for your owners to do that? Now, I know Levy and Enic are pretty poor, but like there could be a lot worse, I suppose, than our things down the end. Roberto Soldado. So there is to put Davidson in. Oh my god, can you not? You're going to give me like heart palpitations, please, Edwardson, just thinking about it. And I know I'm going to touch on it just because of what's been happening with Sanchez. I know he's not great on the pitch, and he does deserve criticism, but when you bring race into it, like, come on. And it's just a disgusting thing to even have to touch on it. Do you know what I mean? We shouldn't have to now, but these trolls get away with it because they hide behind screens, and the only way it's ever going to improve is if you have to have ID verification to open a social media account. Until that's done, it will keep happening, and it's disgusting because it shouldn't happen in this stone age, but it sadly does. But yeah, to use race to abuse someone is just disgusting. But he needs criticism on a level that's on his footballing abilities, not to bring race into it. Honestly, our players look like a child learning to ride a bike. That's how scared they look at times. Look at the ditch, and that ditch mental. It's disgusting. It is disgusting. I don't understand how players have been that dried of a trophy, or it's just the audacity to think we managed to stop playing for Poch. We got him sacked. We needed a change. Now we're going to stop doing that for Jose, the man that's won it everywhere, to prove a point. Like, I really don't understand that mentality. And I think people are saying that it's the mentality from the squad. But when your squad is full of, like, players that probably should have been moved on years ago, I mean, the likes of Lamela, I know his attitude is pretty decent in the sense that he'll come out and they'll fight for the badge. But when you've got the likes of Weents coming out and saying, I want to get in the England squad, well, don't squinny about it. Get on that pitch and show it. Like, I don't understand how you've used that nature of, like, hiding behind someone else. I just don't get it. You've got to go out and prove your worth. We did discuss it on the Spurs Related. Make sure you sign the petition and go watch it. Would a world-class centre-back impact Sanchez have to keep him? I really don't know. Like I said, I think it's just his pace. And his spatial awareness just isn't there. But again, it could be guided. We started to see an improvement under Toby, but like we've alluded to, Toby's legs are going and he's getting on. He's going a bit like Jan Vertonghen in the sense that he's still class in the way he plays football, his positioning and stuff, but it's just his legs are letting him down. So it could do. We've seen a bit of improvement from Sanchez when he's had Toby next to him. That was totally out of saying those things about Davison. His liability too often, though. He is, and this is what I'm saying. He needs criticism, but don't bring race into it. There's no need for it. Sanchez is diabolical. Yeah, and Dyer. What did I see on Irish Hotspurs thing? Someone commented. What was it? Diarrheical or diarrhea or something. I don't know what I'm going on about. Jose, ex-manager of United, and we know how much Jose likes beating his old teams. We'll see if Spurs team is behind the manager after the game. Agreed, and it also be a massive revenge for Man United because obviously we thrashed them. So there will be a lot of fighting then. Fear losing at White Hart Lane. So much fear. I'm scared of them. Terrified. I am terrified. Which player would you get rid of? There's a long list, Sam. There's too many to even comprehend. Who I'd want to get rid of and who will actually go is a different story as well. Because like I said, Levy is not going to cut his losses on Sanchez. We won't see Sanchez go. I think we will hopefully see Winks go. As much as that saddens me, he's just, enough is enough. He needs to go. I'd like to see Dyer go. Davies, I think, needs to go and find a better... I mean, obviously, we've got Sessegnon coming back, so I think Sessegnon and Regular would be a great rotational thing at left back. We need a new right back. I'd like to see Matt Doherty leave, as quick as that. It's just so much to go on about. I live in cottage country. Sanchez looks like Buddy at... a boy. Oh, my days. If you had the choice... would you like Harry Redknapp back as manager or keep Jose? Oh, Dad, why have you done this to me? Why have you done this to me? Oh man, you know how much I like Harry Redknapp as well. Right, if Jose loses the final and doesn't secure us top 4, I want Harry Redknapp back. There we go. There's my question. Sanchez is kind of footballer who is clear shots off the line and then score. Yeah, consistent, inconsistent. I don't have enough fingers the players want to get rid of. I know, it's ridiculous. Darren, I echo your words. We just need a massive overhaul. We just need to hit the reset button and just get a new team. But this is what I said. Enic and Hitchin and Levy, it's just one big mess. Because let's not be honest, right? I've always said this. This UCL run we had was insane. It was phenomenal. It was a madness. But how was our Premier League form? Dire. Like, it was bad. So I think the UCL final cracked over a lot of cracks. And then when we're talking about confidence, after that UCL final, everything went to pot, basically. And we never really recuperated from it because everyone was like, oh, nah, it's all right. This season will be fine. And it's just a madness. It's just gone horribly wrong. It really has. And like I said, they're reactive, not proactive. That's all I have to say on the matter. They've just let it get so stale. And that's the problem. Enic have just let it get so stale. And it's just depressing. That's all I have to say on it, really. It's just depressing. I'm from Somerset. I got more than enough fingers to count. Mate, Edward, don't do this to me, mate. Please don't. That's done me in. I need some of your fingers. Lend me some. Do you think they brought in Jose to win the team, or was it a plan to back him and COVID derailed it? See, I wish I was a mind reader, Cody, because that is a brilliant question. I think, personally, they brought Jose in as the last roll of the dice, in a sense that they knew the team was stale, but they were like, it'd probably be cheaper in a sense to bring in someone that's done it everywhere than to rebuild the whole team. So I think it was kind of like the last roll of the dice. Then COVID happened and it kind of bit them massively on the bum. Because it's probably helped and hindered them, because obviously we know they don't like parting with their money, but we know Jose needs money to buy the tools he needs. So I think it's just double shot him, if that makes sense. I think if COVID wasn't a thing, obviously there'd be a lot of revenue. And I think we would have spent a bit bigger in the summer. I know people are saying, oh yeah, but look at all the players we brought, blah, 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 blah. But they weren't quality. They were just enough to build a squad to keep it ticking over. But that was a brilliant question, Cody. I like that. Hey, Everton now. Good evening. Good evening. Part of me is thinking it's the way Jose sets the team up, because I don't know how we get dominated midfield by Newcastle when we had Ndombele and Celso in it. It's honestly confusing. It's mind baffling. But like I said, once we conceded, it was all gun ho, and we managed to turn it around. I'm honestly more scared when we're in front. I really am, and that's how depressing life has got. But I think I've always been that, even under the Poch regime. I really don't know. The Ndombele's kind of been a bit off it, hasn't he, recently? But I think they all kind of have. There's something going on behind the background. I think we can all kind of tell that from the snide comments from Jose. I mean, you saw the likes of Bergwijn punching a bag the other day on Serge Aurier's story, and Serge was like putting some funny eye movement to say, "Oh, watch out, something's going on," sort of thing. So I think it's all very toxic at the moment, and that's probably not helping them play on the pitch. Last chance to build around Kane this on the summer. If not, full real build on the puts behind the Gooners. They have a project manager. They do. And it's sort of like them. They got a new stadium and then fell off the face of the earth. We're kind of doing the same. And I just think, like I said, I think this was the last roll of the dice for Enic to try and not have to reinvest in the team so much. And I think they don't want to eat the words of Poch. I think they kind of knew what Poch was saying was going to come true. And they don't want to, it's an ego thing. They don't want that to be tarnished. They don't want to be like, they don't want Poch to be like, ha, see, I told you so. And I just think that's what it is. Can we sign Aaron? I'm just going to leave that. Got to be back room bickering. And again, Poch isn't doing a good. No, that's another thing. And don't get me wrong, I love Poch at Spurs, but the one thing that held him back is he hadn't won anything. And the fact that he's going to lose a one-horse race is pretty depressing. I'm just here listening to talk. Oh, Thank you. I look like Jimmy Bullard, Jack, but I'll take it, mate. Welcome to the stream. Hollie, if Danny Rose trained with the squad, do you think they'd notice mistakes in fours and free kick managing? Honestly, it's so sad to see the decline of Danny Rose. If you haven't seen a picture of him recently, it's really sad. He's really struggling at the moment. But again, he wasn't showing great performances. Again, he kind of like tossed his toys out the pram, and it's kind of really hit him home that you can't really do that. I mean, don't get me wrong, if my manager was saying something, I'd like to have a word with him. But I think, obviously, looking at that documentary, it might have been script written. Who knows? But his attitude it just stunk, I think, and it just really hasn't helped him. If you look at the middle of the pitch, we are slow in every position. Only Lucas has good pace. That's why we lose shape and transition, both going forward and tracking back. That's a fair comment. I think the only person that does really well at tracking back is Stephen Bergwijn, but then he's got nothing going forward. And I think that's because Jose's asked him to do that, and now when he goes forward, he has no confidence. So that is a true thing. But then Lucas, he plays really well some weeks, and other weeks he's running into everyone in your nan. So it is really hard. How's things doing? Hopefully I'll come on the channel shortly. Yes, Everton now. Obviously, we are playing Everton in a few weeks, and I am good friends with Alfie. He's got a quality channel, so we'll try and get something sorted. I wish we kept Aaron Lennon. Lennon was a great little player. Aaron Lennon was about the era when I actually started watching Tottenham properly. Because obviously I played football before I watched football, but I've always supported Spurs because of Dad. It was crazy COVID season, but how West Ham? It's all right, Alan. It will be back to normal next season. It's all good. In 2017, Rose worth 50 million, and this is the thing, right? The Master, isn't it? No, the Smasher. Sorry, I can't read. The club held on to players for too long. We could have sold Winks for 40 million to Pep. We could have sold Dyer years ago to Man United when they just hold on for players for too long. Like I said, they just ride the wave constantly. It's just it's depressing. What's happening with Rosie? God knows. He's in the under-21s, I believe. We've still got him. This is what's depressing. And no, but do you know why it's depressing? Because they won't cut their losses once again. They're only giving Danny Rose the boot when so many other players are pulling the same shit. That is very true. But Cody, we'll have none left. Yes, Everton we are too bottled. This is how Everton and Tottenham unite. We both shake hands. Straight facts. Agreed. This is true. He won't be worth anything. That's the trouble, and it's depressing at the fact that it's come to this. We're just an utter mess, aren't we, really, as Spurs? Just an utter mess. It's just, I don't know where to turn anymore. I was so excited when this season started because, like I said, it's the first time in ages we've had squad depth. The first time in ages we've had a backup striker. And it just really hasn't come on to anything. I think the one game that really derailed the season was West Ham. It pains me to say it because we were high flying till that game. Till that game, we managed to draw it back to 3-3, and especially after, I can't remember his name, managed to score that whiz bomb. It's just gone downhill from there. It really has. Who would pay more for Danny Rose these days? Probably a League One side. Is Spurs social the most toxic it's ever been? What do you mean? In terms of like how people are talking? I think Arsenal Spurs are similar. We both crap. Stevie, preach it, mate. You're still below us, but still. No, I'm joking. My worst nightmare is Boris saying we have to do another. Darren, please don't, mate. I don't want to spend another lockdown. I can't hack it. The Tottenham are doing the same place to Liverpool and to Real Madrid, and we're like the feeder team to Real Madrid, aren't we? Mr. Mark Agamar with straight facts. Can we sign a new? I don't really know, Sam. The trouble is, Messi's phenomenal. Can he do it at the Prem, though? Just put it out there. How Nate? I think everybody's just had enough, Cody. I think it's a mixture of things. I just don't think people are thinking rationally. I mean, who's the easiest person to blame for all of this? Jose Mourinho. When you really look at it, who's the people that have been at the top for how many years, sacking how many managers, and we've only won one cup? I think that's the problem. And like Darren alluded to about his worst nightmare being another lockdown, I think everybody's so fed up with how this year's been, and then you have to sit there and watch Tottenham play diabolical. Like, it's just, I think it's just a mishmash of different things. I think Levy wanted 5 million for Rose and no one's prepared to pay it. So he sits in the under 23s and 35k a week. What a joke. I know, like, you could use that 35k for someone else. Couldn't you? Kane. Kylan, I hate you. At least your striker scores goals, yeah. I mean, he scores with the haircuts though, Stevie, mate. That new Aubameyang hairstyle. Whew, mate, fire. Mostly what's around the pitch, Joseph would bin him and pick them. Probably not wrong there, Cody. To use Sanchez, Diane Winks in a side committing crime. Preach it. It's alright, he can't hear. Bye for now, Hollie, dinner time. See you later, Edwardson. Thank you again for tuning in and for subscribing, as always. I mean, we have hit 1k. There is a link in the description to watch the recent 1k special, which was a madness. See you later, Edwardson. I think the season turned on Liverpool away. The manner of the defeat was so deflating. It was never recovered from. I mean, that's a good fact, DL. I can see what you mean there. The way we lost, in a sense that we were so, like, we could have probably beaten them and we just couldn't get it over the line. But I think for me it was West Ham to play so well and then out of nowhere draw 3-3, like, and that's before then we were really like pushing on. I don't know, it's hard. Nothing would change until Enic leave. Too many of our fans are obsessed with the stadium. Preach it, Barry. This is why I've been saying this whole stream. It's just they're clouded by the judgment of Jose Mourinho, when who's the people that have been here this whole time. And I've said, I mean, people that have been here already, the fact that, okay, they've built a lovely training facility, they've built a lovely ground, like you've said, Barry, but what have we got to show for it? And it's just, it will keep happening. And Enic are just stale in their business in football terms, because they've got Hitchin finding all the players while he's on holiday in his big fat limousine and his big fat yacht. But the sentiment is, you need to invest to accumulate, and we've just rid the wave for so long. Got the likes of bloody Danny Rose, as we've touched on, playing in the under 23s to 35k a week. Like, come on, you need to sort it out. But I agree with you, Barry. Clock came when we saw the identity of the year. Pep had an awful season and sought an identity. Does not worry, Jose doesn't have one after 18 months in charge. Big up, Hollie. But that is a good point. I can see what you're saying, but I don't know. I really don't know. It is so toxic at Spurs. I don't know how anyone can form any sort of identity. We've lost identities in players because I feel it's so toxic. I really don't know. It is worrying that we haven't managed to push on, but if you told me this at the start of the season, I'd be saying, what are you going on about? I just think it is personally that West Ham draw has made everything go to pot. I really do. The season will go back to normal next season. Hopefully both of us fight for the top 4. It would be nice. It would be nice, Stevie. And as much as I hate Arsenal, like, it's nice to have that rivalry in the Premier League. A bit like Portsmouth and Southampton. Like, I couldn't imagine having my club, like, not challenging at the same point as me. It's like, it's just a given. I love the rivalry. I feel like my era comes to an end this summer. No players in the team obey them anymore. But again, like, they did this with Poch. Like, for all those people that love Poch, like, don't get me wrong, when Poch was in charge, I loved him and I was shocked that he left. But in hindsight, it was the right time for him to leave. Maybe this is the right time for Jose. Maybe in September we have a new manager. I'll be thinking differently. But again, it's deja vu. Do you not think it's the same thing happening once again? Yet the people at the top haven't decided to do anything about it. They're just riding the wave, as I like to call it. I don't know. See you later, Dad. We can have easily had a trajectory as a club compared to Leeds, Newcastle, Aston Villa. Haven't won trophies, but what was the expectation? We were owned by Sugar. I hope we spend. See, I luckily wasn't around during the Sugar days. So I don't know what Sir Alan Sugar kind of did. I heard he wasn't fabulous, but yeah, I think we have a lot of expectation as fans because we've waited so long. And I think people are just fed up. I think that's what it is. We have built the ground and training on loans. We employed Jose because he was the cheap option. I've said this, Barry, mate. I feel like we're on the same wavelength. I feel like it was the last roll of the dice for Enic. It meant that they didn't have to reinvest and they didn't have to eat the words of Poch saying we need a painful rebuild. They've rolled the dice, gave Jose a go, the man that's won it all, that could do it, and he hasn't managed to. So it's bitten Enic on the butt. But are they taking the full brunt for it? No, Jose is. We need a goalie and 2 fullbacks. See, Barry, this is where we differ. This is where we're not on the same wavelength. I think we have bigger problems than a goalie at the moment. Okay, Lloris, I think, hasn't been his best. But again, the man's... I don't want to be too sentimental, but he has put a shift in. I know he's a bit up and down at the minute. But to get rid of him and then to bring someone in, you're looking at a lot of money, shall we speak. And I'd rather get a prominent centre-back in, personally. Would Jose Mourinho sign any more players in 2022? Depends if he's here. Would Harry Kane go to Real Madrid? I personally don't think he'd move abroad. If he's going to move anywhere, I think it'd be City, because he's chasing that Premier League all-time goal scorer boot. So I don't think he'd go abroad. Spurs need 2 centre-backs, a goalie, a centre midfield. That's 250 million. Portugal's a loser to Pete in 87. Yes, I was. He was a loser, and that's how sad it is to think that he was probably the best manager of my age, bar Harry Redknapp, because I love Harry Redknapp. But it's just depressing, isn't it? This is the thing. Enic always rolled the dice for the cheaper option, but now it's coming to bite us on the... And I wouldn't be surprised, give it maybe 2 years, when they finally have to pen out the money, or this year, they'll just sell up. That won't be a bad thing for us. But again, it's just wasted time. Just wasted time. So it's definitely a preference. Lloris is still class. I think, in terms of Lloris, I think he has dipped slightly. But he can bring it back, I think. He can bring it back. If we got 2 centre-backs and a playmaker, we are there. We're not that far behind other teams. It feels like they're 55 years old. I've seen bad Spurs teams close to being good. See, this is probably where I'm a bit like, not over the top, but because I had the likes of, when I was growing up, I had Ledley King at centre-back. I had Dawson. I had the likes of Bale in his prime. I've had Modric. I've also had Nasser Chadli. Was it Chadli? Bentaleb, Stambouli, Fazio. I've seen probably 2 halves of good and bad, if that makes sense. But I think it's this whole preference on, I'm just bored. I want a trophy now. I've waited so long. I've only seen 1 trophy and I need to hurry up and get one. And I think lots of fans are frustrated. And it's probably why they're fed up. And let's not forget, under Poch, okay, we did play nice football. But that nice football didn't win us anything. So I'm all for trying the boring football. And don't get me wrong, my patience is wearing very thin. But you've got to give everything a go. Congrats on the 1K. I remember when the channel was small, but your energy has helped grow up. Loving the guests you're on too. Really good stuff. Thank you, dear. I really appreciate that. Yeah, we did hit 1K. I didn't post it out straight away because I know what it's like. People get the buzz and then they unsub and I'm like, I'm not a 1K anymore. But thank you. I do appreciate everyone that's come in, especially now. And if you haven't watched Hollie's Hotspurs live yet, it's quality. We get some pretty sick guests on. There's actually a highlights video out now if you want to go check that out. But appreciate the support as ever. I try my best to be positive. I try my best to not overthink it. But yeah, thanks to HotTakes. Thank you, Cody. Like I say, Hollie's Hotspurs, I'm very much in host mode. So I do drag your comments up and try and filter them into the guests. But this is more of like an interaction thing between me and you, just so we can have like a good little chat, so to speak. Ari. We are not good on replacing 2 top players. Just have to look at the fullbacks we have. I know, it's disgusting, isn't it? It's just horrendous. Like, Trippier was good until he played in the World Cup. When he came back from the World Cup, he had a disaster class. And I'm not too phased that we sold him. He's now playing great at Atletico Madrid. This is probably what happened to Winks. I think the Spanish football will treat Winks a lot better because he just likes to play the ball sideways and backwards. But I agree. The same with the likes of Eriksen in recent years. We got Lo Celso, and Lo Celso and Eriksen are 2 completely standards of players. Okay, Lo Celso might come good, but I haven't seen enough of Lo Celso this season because of injuries. It's just like you say, we don't really replace players. Jose, I remember a similar situation, decent manager, crap squads. Agreed. It's just depressing, isn't it? I've also just witnessed 1 trophy and I'm 20 years old. The Smasher, you must have witnessed the same trophy I had, which was in 2008. I'm 23, believe it or not. I look about 12. But I managed to only see that one. Plus the Audi Cup. Audi Cup, massive. But we try not to mention that one. Jose needs his player. Football isn't great, but it wins trophies. That's what I mean, Kylan. That's what I mean. Top guesses per. Just, yeah, Spurs related. Oh, no, I want that one. What's this one? It's 4-4-2 hoofball, want us a league and tolerate us, but the football is dead with terrible results. Agreed. That's the problem. I don't want to say your name wrong. I'm really sorry if I do. With a surname like Akenbar, I should probably say your name right. I agree, and I would snap your hand off if it meant we got 1-0 wins all the time, but it hasn't really been happening, has it? Now we have to watch the Chelsea scum commit Champions League semi-final. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they get beat. That'd be vibes. Hello, Brian. Great show. Looking forward to coming on your channel shortly. Oh, yes, Brian. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled for when Brian is on. Appreciate the kind words, Brian. Thank you. Hey, hello, Nippon. How are you? Hello. Good evening, everyone. So you're going to absolutely obliterate us in the final. This is my thing, okay? For the North London derby, I took form into it. And I should have never have done that because we were on top form and we absolutely... Well, we didn't even turn up, really. We didn't get out of the tunnel. But City are high-flying. This is my reverse psychology. We are down in the dumps. It's a one-off game. Jose's been there multiple times. Is there anyone else I want in that changing room bar Jose? Probably not. So I don't know. I'm trying to keep hopeful just because if I don't, I will generally lose the plot. But I have a little bit of faith. Keep the faith, the Smasher. Keep the faith. I've seen great sides just win 3 FA Cups, 3 League Cups and 2 UEFA. This team is done. A massive rebuild is needed and it won't spend the money. Our fan base is too weak. But this is the thing, Barry. They will take the easy option and blame Jose. And don't get me wrong, Jose, like I've said this whole stream, has his faults. But the bigger issue is this team. It really is. But they, like you said, we're too weak to shout out the people at the top that have made this problem. I mean, I wish I was as lucky as you to see us win so many trophies, but the League Cup is the only thing I've seen us win. So our London podcast will be out this Wednesday evening in football on Thursday evening. Are you free? I can try and be free. Depends what time, my friend. Watching the team players, eating Brussels sprouts every day. Oh, no. You'd have something bad coming out the other end. I'm still listening while I draw. Oh, what logo are you drawing, Will? I have seen your masterpieces of thumbnails. They are quality. Thank you for still tuning in, Will. I appreciate it. Would be peak Spurs to finish 7th and win the League Cup. I mean, it's a trophy. It sounds really bad, and don't get me wrong, Enic want to finish top 4. That's their model. But I need a cup. I don't care what cup it is, bar the Aldi Cup. I need a cup. 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. and can be arranged. What day? Wednesday. I can do one Wednesday. I have football training on Thursday. I'm guessing that's Tottenham in... Oh my God, I'm really bad with abbreviations, Will. You're going to have to help me out, mate. But yeah, no, the club's just a mess. Can we sign? I don't know, Sam. You're asking me things I don't have the answer to. I just don't think Enic have the willpower to invest in the football, sadly. I really don't know. I have calculated that if we reach 100 years old, which won't happen, I will only witness 10 trophies. 10 trophies. I mean, mate, can you imagine that? I'll have that on my gravestone, man. I witnessed Tottenham win a trophy in 2051. Don't know why I've witnessed 2 trophies in my lifetime. Now that makes sense, Will. That makes a lot more sense. I'm a bit slow on my abbreviations, it must be said. Yeah, I'm pretty bad at abbreviations. But yeah, that's pretty much my take on everything that's happened in the last week. It's not fun times. Thank you to everyone that has tuned in this evening to Hollie's Hot Takes. It's quite nice to have like a one-on-one chat like this. Like I said, when you're hosting, it's really hard to like. I feel really bad. Sometimes I feel like I'm neglecting you because I'm not bringing up your comments all the time. Whereas this, it's nice to just. I do like every single one of you, but in host mode, it's really hard to pull stuff up. But thank you, the Smasher. These happen normally midweek, depending on what's going on with work, with football and everything. But normally Wednesdays is probably the best day for Hollie's Hot Takes. I have football on Sunday, which means Hollie's Hotspurs Live will now happen on Monday at 7 p.m. which should be interesting. I have 2 class guests on for that one. I won't give too much away. You'll have to keep your eyes peeled for when the little dingy bell goes off and says there's a new potential upload. But keep your eyes peeled for that. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. And we've got some class guests coming on in the next couple of weeks. And keep your eyes out for the Carabao Cup preview. Now, I don't normally do preview shows, so it is exciting and it is a massive guest. They have confirmed, so please keep your eyes peeled. It is going to be a madness. Thank you, Darren. I appreciate it. And remember, if you are new, please hit that subscribe button and go check out the 1K highlights video because it's a madness. It took me it did take me a while to edit. So if you wouldn't mind checking that out, the description is in the link below. But until next time, thank you to every single one of you that has tuned in. Come on, you Spurs. Hopefully we'll be talking about a win next Monday, but we'll have to keep our fingers and toes crossed. But I will see you soon. Later.